Uncle FC. The Chelsea of old, under Roman Abramovich, the Chelsea of old before Bluco, the Chelsea of old before any of this would hit. We were known for signing those unks, those mid-aged masterpieces, those, super old, out of prime, cheap contract, highly regarded and highly experienced players. And ever since Bluco has stepped in, we have not signed a player over the age of 26 years old until today, where we have signed 3. So, welcome back to the Prem Trifecta. I hope you guys have all been well, and we're here covering 3 transfers here today. We're going to cover Maxence Lacroix, obviously, being revealed as a Chelsea player for the first time. And then we're going to cover 2 big bombas, 2 big here he goes, 2 big bomba rasclas, 2 huge moves for 36-year-old Jordan Henderson and 35-year-old Danny Welbeck. So yeah, let's just dive right into it. Firstly, Maxence Lacroix to Chelsea. The Chelsea player, well, first of all, center back for Crystal Palace, if you guys know him. Highly regarded in his youth plays. He's very fast, very athletic, a tough player as well. And signing for Chelsea for 52 mil, the market value of 50 million. So, basically not really an overpay at all, paid at market price, maybe 2 million more, so not even that big of a price deal as well. And I would say fantastic move for a center back. Obviously, Chelsea's been looking for a center back. We have Levi Colwill, but we've seen how bad our defense is without Levi Colwill in it. I'm missing him for the whole year. Last year, our defense is in shambles. And so, Wesley Fofana is not reliable. Tosin, I don't have to speak about that. Benny Abadi-Yashil, I don't know how he's still on the squad. And so on and so forth. There's other center backs in there too. Josh Champong is just too young. And we really needed someone who was good. And we've done exactly that, bringing in Maxence Lacroix. And with the tangibles as well, we know he's a leader. Obviously, wore the captain's armband for Wolfsburg at the age of 21 years old. Teammates, coaches, fellow players, and himself, they would always say that one of his biggest qualities is leadership in the back line. And so having someone who's experienced and with that leadership coming in to a team like Chelsea, who's very young, is a huge move. So I would say, I personally think it's a fantastic move. I'm very excited to see what he brings to Chelsea. He's had a few quotes already in terms of what he said. So in terms of touching on his move, he said, "I am really happy to be part of the beautiful club. Everyone knows the legend of Chelsea, the tradition of winning, and to be a part of the proud moment. This is a proud moment. When I spoke with the manager, I saw that we have the same direction and desire for the club. We want to win. When you see the quality of the players here, everything we have around the club, it's something that we can achieve. The ambition to lift trophies, and I can't wait to contribute." Maxence Lacroix, it's a standard quotation, but as I said, bringing in a manager like Xabi Alonso attracts players like Maxence Lacroix who are highly experienced and probably looking for bigger moves than that Chelsea move, let's be honest. In this day and age, Chelsea maybe not be the most attractive team in the world, but having a manager like Xabi Alonso really brings in a lot of these players, and we saw with Maxence Lacroix as well what he can do. So I'm excited to see what he's like in Chelsea Blue. I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table, and hopefully he has a great time here. Moving on, we got 2 here he goes recently for 2 very experienced players. We'll walk into the least controversial one first. We'll talk about Danny Welbeck first. Obviously, striker for Brighton. He used to play for Arsenal. He used to play for Manchester United. Now he's at Brighton. Highly experienced striker, 35 years old. Honestly, a very good signing, in my opinion. What we've been needing for a long time is experience. And we have brought in tons of experience with Danny Welbeck. Obviously, Chelsea have not signed a player over the age of 26 years old since 2022. The last time we signed a player over 26 years old, it was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And now we've brought in Danny Welbeck. So, 4 years under Bluco, and we've only had 2 players that in a while that have been, of that age. I think this is a very good signing. It doesn't mean Danny Welbeck, obviously, there's not much to talk about with him. He's very reliable. He's not going to be the starting striker, obviously, but he's probably going to be that guy coming off the bench for us. Last year for Brighton, 37 matches, 13 goals, 1 assist. It's a pretty good return. I think the season before that, he had 10 goals, 4 assists. Season before that, 29 appearances, 5 goals, 1 assist. So, he is a pretty good player who's going to bring a lot of experience to the strikers here at Chelsea. Another thing that we've been missing in this Chelsea lineup, especially at the striker front, is the ability to head the ball. We don't have a lot of purposeful headers or a lot of people who could really are a threat aerially. João Pedro can somewhat do it, but is he really like a threat? No, he isn't. And then we don't have to talk about everyone else in there because, you know the outcome with it. So bringing in a real aerial threat like Danny Welbeck is huge. And, good player. He stays fit. Bringing in someone with a lot of experience is fantastic. What I do think this means is we're going to see the exit of a lot of Chelsea strikers because, as I said, we have way too many strikers for the club for what it is. I do think Danny Welbeck coming in spells the end for Liam Delap at Chelsea. Surely he's going to get shopped out elsewhere. I hope it's not the end for Nico Jackson, but I think it will be the end for Nico Jackson, as I think they're going to end up keeping Emmanuel Amiga over Jackson just because we could probably just get more in the market for Nico Jackson. But, overall, I think it's a good move. I'm really excited to see him play for Chelsea. I'm really excited to see what types of, intangibles he brings to the Chelsea team. And talking about intangibles, we have the even more controversial, here we go, for Jordan Henderson from Brentford. 36 years old. Obviously, we know him for his time at Liverpool, where he's captain. He won numerous trophies, Champions League, Premier League, you name it. Everything that you can win in English football, he's won it. Then over to Saudi, that didn't work out. Went over to Ajax, that didn't work out. And now he's part of Brentford, and we saw him play very well for Brentford last season, well enough to make an England squad once again. And now he's a Chelsea player. And so the way I would put this move is a lot of people look at this move and are like, what the hell is Chelsea doing? This doesn't make any sense at all. It's either one end where we're signing 17, 18-year-olds, and it's either other end where we're signing senior players. As for me, as soon as I saw this rumor of Jordan Henderson, I was like, bring him in. Bring him in. You need someone with a voice. You need someone with experience. And Jordan Henderson brings plenty. He's that guy who's going to come. Like, honestly, I don't expect him to play. I would say this is a bad move if this is our midfield signing. I'm like 100% sure this won't be our midfield signing. And so because of that, I would say that this is a fantastic move to bring in a player and a true leader here on the team to show everyone, what's up, show everyone, what it means to be a top player at the top level and to win is exceptional. Obviously, he was brought into a similar role with the England squad, not really being brought into play, let's be honest, but being brought into facilitate himself as that leader in the England locker room and as that big voice, the one who's going to, lead the way and carve the path for the English players. And I feel like hopefully he could do the same for Chelsea. Obviously, he's a big player. So we'll see, what happens. Probably coming in on low wages as well, and he's coming in on free. So this is a low, kind of like a no-lose situation here for Chelsea. You're bringing in a leader. You're bringing in someone who's not going to play, let's be honest, for the team. But you're bringing in someone who's going to be a voice in the locker room and someone who's going to be, really important for Chelsea's future here. So Jordan Henderson, welcome to Chelsea. I'm excited to see what both you and Danny Welbeck do. Again, categorize them the same thing. It's just huge experience signings. Maybe Danny Welbeck's going to be the more serviceable one, but both very experienced and leadership style signings that Chelsea has been needing for years. And I guess the fourth thing that I want to talk about is the midfield signings. Obviously, with Chelsea, we've been looking at a few midfielders here. Maybe the importance of it isn't going to be as much right now, but if Enzo Fernandez leaves, I don't think he's going to leave. But even if he leaves, I do think we have to sign a midfielder. And one midfielder that I particularly want to talk about, and in my opinion, the midfielder that out of everyone we've been tied to, the person that I really do want at the club is Alex Scott. A lot of people have seen us linked to Bruno. A lot of people have seen us linked to, I think there's Adam Wharton. All these other players who are more elite. Personally, my take is I think we should bring in Alex Scott. The reason why, let me land, is this. I think out of all three midfielders that we kind of been linked with, the one that profiles the best with Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, assuming that they both stay in the team, is going to be Alex Scott. He is one of the best counter pressers in the league. He's very active. He's a big runner. Very fit, able to cover lots of ground. He's a good ball carrier. And you really need these qualities in the team. Obviously, Caicedo, phenomenal player. We all know that. But when it comes to, he can't do everything on his own. He can't be that counter presser up, on the pitch because, he's not that type of player. Like, let's be honest, who's able to run around and do all these things. But Caicedo, he's a fantastic player. He's also not really the best, ball carrier. He does carry the ball well. Don't get me wrong. He's impossible to press, and he's very good to bring the ball past that. But in an attacking mindset, he's not that big ball carrier. And then with Enzo Fernandez, it's kind of the opposite problem where he doesn't have let's be honest, he's not athletic enough to be, that counter presser, to be that guy who's like always, like up on the opposition, trying to, really press and get him down. And, obviously we've seen, how good he is in terms of like, box crashing, and how good he is in terms of finishing. And like the GA obviously that he contributes, but personally I think Enzo Fernandez is going to be better suited in that deep lying role, and which is why I think a profile like Alex Scott, that huge big counter presser, big runner, coming to the Chelsea midfield is going to be huge. So I hope this move develops. I hope this becomes something that someone we're able to bring in. Hopefully not an overpay. I don't want to be paying, ridiculously for him. My max out for him is if we could go with 80. 80 I still think is an overpay, to be honest, but if we pay 80 mil for him, I think it's like in hindsight, it would be, one of those things that's like, hey, maybe it's a good purchase, and we'll see. So yeah, I guess that's it for me. Hopefully each of these moves, come into fruition, and we see the new and improved Chelsea soon. So check it out. See you guys later.